Welcome. My name is Don Davis. I'm the Editor-in-Chief at B2B EC News, an internet retailer, and I'll be moderating today's webinar. We'll be discussing today how e-commerce sites that cater to businesses are adopting many of the same techniques that retailers have been using for years to sell to online consumers. In particular, we'll be discussing the site search function and how delivering on-site search results that are most relevant to the customer and profitable for the seller can boost results. Here are the speakers for today's webinar. We'll be hearing from Harley Thomas from ibSupply.com. Harley's team collaborated with UNBXD'S to improve its site search and saw improvements in customer experience and revenue from site search. To walk us through the process with Harley, we also have with us Monal Patel, who is the Senior Vice President and Chief Business Officer at UNBXD'S. And Monal works closely with ibSupply in all aspects of its search technology. Harley's role at ibSupply is to lend a strategic expertise to drive business development and marketing communication functions that increase brand awareness and ensure revenue growth. ibSupply is the e-commerce site of Industries for the Blind, whose mission is to provide meaningful employment for the blind, visually impaired, and other disabled people. Harley is also the host for ibSupply's Blind Living radio podcast and has over 25 years of experience in the e-commerce and retail industry. We'll also hear from Monal Patel. Monal has more than 15 years of experience in software and retail and has spoken frequently in major e-commerce events. Before we hear from our speakers, I'll just point out that you can ask questions at any time and that we will take them at the end, and that everyone on the call will receive an email in the next few days with instructions on how you can receive the slides you're going to see and also a link to today's presentation that you can share with colleagues. And with that, I'll now hand over the controls to Monal to brief us quickly about the companies and a brief agenda for this presentation.
Thank you, Don, for the introductions. You were very kind. UNBXD'S is a product discovery platform for e-commerce. We are a California-based company with about 1,200 plus customers globally and 400 plus leading enterprises and brands right here in the US. What makes us unique is that we have solved a lot of site search problems that were not solved before. Our solution is tailored for all our customers regardless of their size or vertical, as you can see on our screen, and we are very competitive in our services. In the B2B e-commerce space, specifically, we power search and merchandising solution for names like ibSupply, US Auto Parts, Freund Container and Supply, and many others. We serve over 1.5 billion interactions per month, which is larger in scale than some of our biggest e-commerce companies in the world combined. UNBXD'S is a platform agnostic solution, so the integration timelines are extremely short with all your desired features working out of the box. Apart from the platforms like ATG, IBM WebSphere, etc., that you can see on your screen, we are also well equipped to work with custom or homegrown platforms to deliver a superior search experience at every stage of the buyer's journey. So today, we will take the opportunity to hear directly from Harley Thomas at ibSupply, a leading B2B retailer, on needs of B2B e-commerce buyers and their search behavior. We will also get into details of what worked and did not work for them. We will talk about the process ibSupply went through before choosing UNBXD'S as their search technology partner, and how we later worked together to solve ibSupply's B2B site search challenges. If you plan to work on improving your site search experience as one of your key projects for 2017, I highly recommend that you stay with us until the very end, and please ask any questions you might have in the Q&A section. So let's get started. Harley, why don't you start with telling us a little about ibsupply.com, and we'll take it forward from there.
Sure, thanks, Monal. ibsupply.com is a leading online office and industrial supplier operated by IB Milwaukee. We're a $100 million company and a national industrial supplier and distributor of office supplies, office space design, furniture, tools, customized kitting, and promotional products. IB Milwaukee is recognized globally as an industry leader in workplace accessibility, and we strongly believe in utilizing innovative technologies to empower our passionate and diverse workforce, many of whom are blind or visually impaired. We have over 13 stores across different parts of the country, and IB Supply is our B2B online retail store. which means that our challenges are a lot more complicated from the usual B2C fashion or furniture e-commerce stores, and I hope to cover some of those in the presentation today. We understand the ins and outs of military and government purchasing regulations, and thus cater to a lot of repeat federal, government, and corporate customers on ibSupply. In 2001, we launched our first online store, which was called BaseSupply.com, but was later rebranded ibSupply.com.
That's perfect, Harley. Thank you. Before we get into some of the nitty-gritty and the details, can you tell us what triggered the need to invest in site search?
Sure, Monal. In B2B, good site search provides a solid foundation for e-commerce success. The stakes on site search are a lot higher in B2B than other industries because we typically see buyers, not shoppers. They're doing this as part of their job. The excitement of shopping for and ordering a new piece of clothing or gadget online, like the B2C folks normally do, for example, it's just not there. A bad site search on a B2C site may not dissuade the shopper immediately, especially if you have a really strong brand. But for B2B customers like ours, it's a catastrophe. If we fail to provide a hassle-free experience for our online buyers, they'll jump to a competitor site or they'll just go somewhere else offline. What prompts many of our B2B buyers to order online is convenience of ordering and the opportunity to research better products at competitive prices. You take that away and they will happily rely on the old methods until the end of time. So the next thing we did was look at the opportunity cost of losing B2B orders. It's huge. On our sites, people often order in bulk, so the average order value is high. B2B sites often get a lot of repeat buyers, so the lifetime value of these buyers is also very high. For a B2C website, the average order value will be less, most likely. And we wanted to get our site search right from the get-go. The idea was to solve a key problem for our online buyers and hope the revenue boost will follow. We're definitely happy with the numbers. We see a 40% improvement in our site search revenue, and I think it's a great start for us. As our traffic and catalog size continue to grow, the impact will only multiply, Monal.
That makes perfect sense, Harley. To add to what you just said, site search also plays a crucial role in engaging potential buyers on B2B sites. A recent internet retailer survey discovered that over 83% of B2B buyers prefer researching and comparing products on sellers' websites, while Google was their second preferred source for product information. That is a great opportunity for B2B sites to convert window shoppers or researchers into buyers. Amazon has used this as their strategic advantage for years now as they focus on converting potential shoppers who originally visited their site to research product information. But if your site search experience is broken, there is little hope for B2B sites to engage potential buyers, and that's a huge wasted opportunity in our opinion.
I completely agree with you on that, Monal. But talking about a specific trigger that got us into action, I think back to when we started. It was really frustrating for us that our online buyers were struggling to find the products they were looking for. We needed a solution that not only addresses our basic site search needs, such as relevancy and error tolerance, but also works well with unique purchase behavior of our B2B buyers. ibSupply's catalog is growing aggressively now, and we need an effective on-site solution that can scale because our buyers and our products will continue to grow. And while going with a technology partner was not our immediate choice, we're very happy that we now connected with Unboxed. A seamless product discovery process is very critical to our success, and we want the whole experience to be as frictionless for our online buyers as possible. It's a constantly evolving process, but I am confident that we're headed in the right direction.
That's right, Harley. You saw over 40% improvement in your site search revenue, which is great, considering this is just the beginning. What would you say are the key changes that made a difference?
Sure. There are two aspects to the solution. The first is addressing the unique challenges that are specific to B2B buyers. The second is delivering a superior end-to-end search experience. But before getting into the specifics, I'd like to emphasize that delivering a great B2B search experience is very different from a B2C experience because shopping behavior and business models are completely different. And it's important to understand these complexities of B2B purchase behavior before you approach site search. Addressing specific needs of B2B buying behavior was a key requirement for us at ibSupply. And here's how we solved it with Unboxed. A significant portion of customers on ibSupply are repeat buyers. They're familiar with the products and part numbers they're looking for, and optimizing the search experience for repeat buyers was high on our priority list. There are two ways in which Unboxed helped us achieve a smooth product discovery experience for our repeat buyers. One was, on our site, repeat buyers often search for products by their part number to reorder the same set of products. The part number uniquely refers to a specific product. In some cases, they may search for a partial part number, or the part number may have a hyphen in it. Moreover, there can be more than one part number for the same product or variant. Handling part number searches is problematic for standard search platforms. Unboxed not only accommodates our need for support, the many variations of part number searches, but also reduces our repeat buyers' path to purchase. Buyers can now reach the exact products quickly, as part number searches also bring up intelligent visual autocomplete, which allows the purchaser to go directly to the product page or even add it right to the cart right there without needing to go into the search results. This reduces the time it takes to place orders and significantly improves the customer experience on our site. Another common thing with B2B buyers is the complexity involved in making purchase decisions. This mainly happens because B2B buyers who shop across a variety of categories often tend to find product specifications too technical, which makes it hard to differentiate and choose the right products. Unboxed solves this by triggering dynamic search filters on ibSupply. This helps buyers intuitively drill down with the most popular product attributes and narrow down to exactly the products they need in no time at all. Buyers look for products with specific compliance requirements. They are directly able to narrow down to compliant products, Ability 1 products, green products, TAA, GSA, etc., with relevant filters on the search results page. These filters are completely customized for different products and categories. In fact, sometimes buyers can be unaware of the parameters they should actually take into consideration when making a choice. Relevant and dynamic facets and filters help buyers identify the most important comparison parameters and assist them in making a choice quickly.
That's correct, Harley. Also, when these relevant filters are triggered, as you can see in the image on your screen, our system arranges these filters in the order of priority, which improves the customer experience greatly, and also quickly brings important filters to the buyer's attention in case the buyer hadn't thought about it before.
As our catalog grew, we needed an effective solution to improve our on-site search experience at scale and at the same time meet the needs of our online buyers. And Unboxed proved to be a perfect ally for us. Since we started working on site search, the primary focus from the very beginning has been to understand the buyer's search intent in order to deliver relevant products and also weed out irrelevant results. Unboxed search technology understood this very well and it proved to be a huge leap for us from the traditional text match search that often displayed skewed results earlier. It was also a big relief to see that our search was no longer leading our buyers to zero results pages. Unboxed algorithms also accounted for misspellings or stemmed words automatically, which saved us a lot of time internally as we're doing everything manually previously. So based on what we've discussed so far, 3 key contributions by Unboxed that made a remarkable difference to our site search experience are connecting buyers to the right products, helping buyers reach these products faster, ensuring a seamless search experience at scale.
Thank you so much, Harley. We hope to carry forward a strong relationship with ibSupply.com as we continue to improve metrics every quarter. It might really help our audience if I could quickly explain how our technology works to deliver this relevant site search experience you just talked about. So
sure, go ahead.
Perfect. So let's get started with the product catalog. That would be the first thing I would want to talk about. So accessibility and the quality of data that you feed into the system determines the success and accuracy of search results. This is why at Unbox we take enhancing product data of our customers very seriously. Many times our customers have a lot of important information in their product descriptions in the form of free text. This includes a lot of crucial metadata like natural language descriptors, multi-word phrases, and feature attributes, all of which must be accounted for in a comprehensive data catalog. Unbox's advanced machine learning algorithms semantically parse free text in product descriptions to make them searchable. This helps us power a fully attributed product catalog for our customers, which ensures more accurate search results and navigation filters that greatly improve the overall customer experience on the site. So the text match or pattern match techniques that many solutions out there today use, outdated search techniques and come with great limitations. The problem with these techniques is that they do not care about analyzing the intent of the search query. They depend on techniques like anding, oring, which try to find the exact search query in the product catalog or individual words in the catalog and end up offering a suboptimal experience by showing irrelevant results and too many results sometimes or too few and irrelevant facets. This is why many times you'll even see irrelevant results show up at the very top. These techniques work to a great extent for simple one-word queries, which usually form 20 to 30% of a site's total queries. But the more searchable attributes you add to the catalog, the more complicated it becomes. Remaining long-tail queries on the site require a lot of manual optimization, which definitely becomes problematic as you begin to scale aggressively. So Unbox is a self-learning platform that scales easily with a growing catalog. And the most important thing, our machine learning site search technology understands buyers' search intent better with query classification techniques. This means that the system can identify a product type from its attributes. So for the query in this example here, let's say we searched for Logitech black wireless keyboard. It breaks it into product type as keyboard, black is the color attribute, and so on. The weighted scores for the product type and its attributes are already defined in our algorithm. That's why you will never see a mouse or a desktop appearing for a query that says keyboard for the product type. To improve our understanding of search intent on e-commerce sites even more and to deliver a more context-aware search, we also started developing our product based on 12 query types identified by Baymard Institute on top e-commerce sites. Now our engine allows you to understand the type of query and has a separate algorithm to find results for each of these types of queries. What this really means is that when a user searches for a wireless keyboard, our search understands that the intent of the customer is to purchase a keyboard, which has a feature on an attribute called wireless, which is a favorable attribute. So the search will only display results for keyboards and not just anything that includes the word wireless. For example, our system will not show you any results of wireless mouse, etc. And this is what acts as a key differentiator when you look at some of the other search providers in the market. At Unbox, we strive to deliver context-aware e-commerce search, which means that our machine learning engine is constantly learning and optimizing search on your site to make it more relevant. We utilize the power of multiple machine learning algorithms to crawl the web and draw insights from what we call as the world catalog or a global catalog for specific verticals. This helps our algorithms to adapt the nuances of the language for your specific industry, decipher the search intent of the queries better, and deliver relevant results. This also helps the system identify patterns in the collected data and shopper behavior on the site that helps us maintain our built-in synonym corpus. As a result, we can recognize stemmed words, misspellings, synonyms, etc., which is adapted and implemented automatically by the system without any human intervention. It is this self-learning system which makes our search error-tolerant as we combine deep learning techniques with natural language and easily account for language errors in search queries without the need for our customers to add synonyms for, say, stemmed words or misspelled words manually. This greatly reduces the lost opportunities due to buyers reaching the zero results pages. Again, if you have any questions regarding Unbox's technology or this webinar, please don't hesitate to submit them. We will take all questions towards the end.
That was great, Monal. Now, after seeing the results, we are more confident than ever about our relationship with Unboxed, and I hope we continue to grow strongly together. Talking about the numbers, overall, more people have started using search functionality since we started using Unboxed. Our revenue from site search increased by 40%. Our on-site search is now converting better than ever before, and it's recorded an increase of 22% in search conversions. The conversions from search now have a higher order value at 35% improvement in revenue per search session. The numbers clearly indicate that we have solved a core problem for our online buyers. For example, product discovery and Unbox played a critical role in driving the significant revenue increase for ibSupply.com. I'd like to say this once again. I don't look at Unbox as just a technology platform. It's a partnership to develop my business, which ultimately means we're meeting our customers' needs better and faster. This partnership helps us focus on our core business. So before we started working with Unboxed, as many of you probably are thinking, we spent an extensive product discovery process and report for ibSupply. Our report mainly covered various issues that were disrupting our buyers' journey on the site and gave us great action points to improve on site search experience.
Thanks, Harley. We are actually, in today's webinar, offering this product discovery analysis to all our attendees and free of cost, obviously. So if any of you want Unbox to do a similar custom analysis for your site, please reply to this poll that will show up now with a yes. Here's the poll question for all of you. Would you like Unbox to conduct a free custom analysis of the state of site search and product discovery on your e-commerce site? Simply say yes. Please reply to the poll, and our site analysis experts will definitely get back to you by tomorrow. We'll give everybody a little bit of time to do that. It's a really exhaustive report, and we really encourage everyone to at least try it. And okay, let's close it. Okay. Okay, so let's get back to Harley, because we still have a couple of questions for you, Harley. I know you guys evaluated a lot of search vendors, and I'm sure our audience is curious about what made you choose Unbox.
That's right, Monal. We really evaluated the top 4 or 5 search technology vendors, and going to a third-party vendor was definitely not our first choice, though. We wanted to try solving this internally. For this, we hired a Solar expert who worked with our IT team to resolve many of our site search issues. That made things better, but even after many months of effort, we were not close enough to the experience we wanted to deliver for our buyers. We realized that continuing to work with Solar means a great deal of manual configuration for the full-time dedicated resource and months of programming to get material results. We then decided to start looking for other options, and that's when we started evaluating technology partners and finally went ahead with Unbox. couple things stood out about Unbox during our evaluation process. First, we were very confident about the technology. It completely outshined other vendors we were considering. We could visualize how our solution would be able to add value to ibsupply.com and become an integral part of our business. Second, I see that Unbox has a very strong engineering-focused culture. Other sellers' teams couldn't answer the simplest of engineering questions and had to ask to come back later with answers. This was clearly reflected in the results we saw with Unbox later. Finally, Unbox not only understood the technology, but also demonstrated strong understanding of the B2B business needs. You guys look at things from a B2B perspective and not just a generic B2C perspective. We were confident in our choice of Unboxed as our search technology partner, and still are.
Well, glad to hear that, Harley. Thank you so much. How are you using Unbox now? And if you can share some of the experience before Unbox and after Unbox. And overall, how has your post-live experience been with Unbox?
Boosting, excuse me, boosting certain brands is one of the key requirements of any merchandiser, and it's no different for us in the B2B world. Brand promos, higher profit margins, clearing slow-moving inventory, seasonality, new arrivals. There are so many reasons why merchandisers need that control to influence product search rankings on their website. But many of the attendees here would know that doing this is not as simple as it sounds. To do this, we were often creating multitudes of business rules to address every probable browse scenario and search query for which the brand is a relevant result. It's an extremely time-consuming process that demands a lot of involvement from IT team. And as an online catalog is growing, this was getting even more complicated. Unbox Merchandising Workbench now allows us to automatically control product search rankings within minutes. The Merchandising Workbench is also extremely useful to automate redirects on the website. For example, if someone searches for notepads in the search bar, we can set up redirects that take the buyer directly to a category page, paper and notepads, that have already been curated on the site. And this doesn't require any assistance from the IT team. We also find actionable insights in Unbox Dashboard to be extremely useful. It gives comprehensive data on how site search is impacting conversions site-wide. You can track the complete conversion funnel and optimize the customer experience at each stage of the buyer's journey by tracking hits, product views, add to carts, and orders. We often look for top click products, zero result queries, and top search queries reports to constantly improve our merchandising game.
That's right, Harley. Our customers can also drill down to query level reports or product level reports and see top performing products or queries from both perspectives. This can be very powerful for merchandisers to optimize experience at a query level or even at a product level.
Right. Working with Unbox customer success team has been particularly exceptional as they are constantly involved with finding new areas of improvement. While the response time on fixing issues is quick and 24/7 technical support has been a huge help, reactive support is rarely sufficient for customers like us who lack the bandwidth and dedicated resources to see the real value from the product. But Unbox team anticipates and plans for events to occur, probably because they've seen similarities with other customers. They proactively monitor for opportunities and sometimes even issues on an ongoing basis. One great example here is the fact they look for queries that are leading to zero results and set up business rules for us to curate dynamic landing pages quickly to tap into missed opportunities. So mostly, instead of us reaching out for help, we're always relieved to know that the customer success team is always there keeping an eye on how we can optimize the search experience further. Based on the data collected in your analytics, so we get the best value out of your product. Finally, I'd like to conclude by emphasizing the importance of investment in technology and not just site search at this time for all the B2B folks. B2B sites need to stop looking like B2B sites. B2C is way ahead of us. So even with B2B sites now, our buyers come with the expectations that have been set by Amazon and Targets of the world. They want everything that makes for a great site search experience. B2B e-commerce sites can no longer get away with just online processing added on to their basic utilitarian print catalogs. Just as in retail, B2B customers are forcing to change the way they engage or risk losing their business. According to Gartner, B2B companies who have deployed effective personalization on their sites will outsell competitors by 30% within the next 2 years. A great customer experience is extremely important. Since a lot of B2B sites are still living in the primitive era and mostly using an outdated technology, chances are many of you might be in a position to have the first mover advantage in their industry. So I just want to say to these sites, win the game while you can.
I can't agree more, Harley. In fact, look at these survey results from Internet Retailer. The foremost thing that B2B buyers want their suppliers' e-commerce sites is to fix is their on-site search, with over 60% of people in favor for it. And it makes sense, as we mentioned towards the beginning as well, that B2B buyers prefer researching and comparing products on sellers' websites over Google. Anyway, Harley, thank you so much for doing this webinar with us. I'm sure many folks who thought that fixing their site search will require months of effort and innumerable resources can now see how easy it is to fix B2B site search with Unbox. The implementation process may take 1 month or so, but after that, you usually do not even need to touch your search solution at all, and you can continue focusing on other aspects of your business. I think we can take up audience questions now.
Okay, well, thanks, Monal. This is Don Davis again. We do have some questions in the queue already, but there's still plenty of time for those of you in the audience to ask some more questions of Harley and Monal. And remember, everyone on the call will get a email the next couple of days with a link to allow you to get today's slides and a link to the presentation itself. We also would ask you at the end of the webinar to stick around for a very brief survey. That'll help us improve future webinars. Okay, so let's get to the questions. First question for you, Monal. Did Unbox handle the implementation for IB, and does Unbox help with facet building and search term optimization? In other words, does Unbox offer a full service model?
That's a great question. So we did handle the implementation for ibSupply, and we have dedicated resources and a dedicated technical manager that gets assigned during the implementation process. We work with the ibSupply tech team, and we usually try to come up with a solution that puts more onus on the Unbox team rather than the ibSupply team, and I'm sure Harley can attest to that. The second half of that question, whether Unbox helps with facet building and search term optimization, absolutely. As part of the implementation process, it's not just about integrating our solution into the platform, but also configuring and optimizing the solution for your catalog. So if there are certain term extraction that we need to do, build attribution, etc., with some logical structure to it, Unbox is absolutely able to do that, and that's part of our, it's included as part of our implementation process that we provide that as a service model.
Okay, thanks. Here's a question for you, Harley. What are the metrics you use to analyze success of site search?
Sure. There are a few key things that I'm looking at. At the end of the day, obviously, it's dollar revenue, and the number of visits and the clicks, people that click while they're in search, and watching it kind of go through the funnel to see what the conversion is. I'm also interested in the number of orders that get created and that's kind of on the money side of it, on the conversion funnel, as well as I try to spend some time on what are the top queries and then the ever-famous zero search result, and trying to address that with the Unbox team and my own merchandising team, because you don't want zero search results.
Okay, next question. This is for you, Monal. For B2B sites with very technical products, do the standard optimization techniques work? How do you create rules when the product requires technical expertise to specify?
So for technical products, what we have found is that there's a lot of spec requirements. So customers might be searching for, based on specific specs, say if it is a 10-inch something, or based on some sort of short-term language limiters in terms of the units or measurement units or weight units, etc. And I think what we do is, from a implementation perspective, it's definitely not a standard optimization technique. What we do is very specific way in terms of how we identify how customers are searching on that particular site. What are the types of keywords they're using? What are the short forms that they're using? What are the language descriptors they're using? That is how exactly that the search gets configured. Now, second half of the question, where it says how do you create rules when the product requires technical expertise to specify, is that it depends on how exactly the customers are searching, or how the business wants the customers to evaluate the products. Because as soon as you start typing your first letter in or the second letter in, we want to make sure that we are guiding the customer down a particular path. So, for example, one of our customers requires, one of our retailers requires that the customers may have an idea of what a model of that particular product fitment might be, or a particular product utility might be. So we try to split what that experience would look like between the model and the actual part. And so it's never a simple solution or it's a standard solution. It's always a custom solution depending on what the customer requirements are.
Okay, another question for you, Monal, though Harley, you can jump in any time with some of your own experience. But the question is, do customers have the ability to determine the weighting of catalog attributes to match search results?
Absolutely. So the Unbox Workbench provides you the ability to experiment with certain configurations in terms of how you might want to heavily weigh a particular attribute, or lower it, or even sometimes not make it searchable. So that piece of the configuration is exposed to the customers through the Workbench, and you have the ability to regulate that.
And it's really easy, and it's a very important piece of our business in kind of boosting an item, but you really don't want to just add something to make it come to the top, because you have to keep it relevant. You don't want a screwdriver to come up when someone's looking for a folder.
Right. And I think to add to that, sorry, Don, to add to that, the idea is that if there are some attributes that are too descriptive, too many keywords in it, and too many keywords that are not necessarily helping the search term or throwing away the search term in the wrong direction, you can make them unsearchable. And definitely heavily weight some other attributes that are more cleaner, and we can help you clean them out as well.
Okay, well, you just answered the next question, so we'll move on to a question for Harley. How do you identify facets of the most important to the particular search, and does this need to be done manually by adding rules in Unboxed?
The facets, I'm going to make an assumption that by facets we're talking about like different attributes that are used when someone's doing a search. Right. And we have thousands of attributes associated with our product catalog, and the system really does it automatically. It's got some machine learning in it, in the software, and we don't really have to touch that very much on the front end. On the back end, we're able to tweak it a little bit by associating things, or we could even create potentially some synonyms, bidirectional or unidirectional synonyms, if we need to make that attribute more relevant. If it's something that we see over and over again, that's probably how I would do it. I would take probably a unidirectional synonym and tie it to a particular product. But the system's very good at taking all the attributes, and the attributes, we have a filter on the left-hand side of our homepage or product pages, and that's all dynamically created by Unbox. So I don't have to manage a whole bunch of those, and it changes over time based on the search and who clicks what and the relevance. So it actually changes. It's probably different today than it was last week. But I don't have to touch it and worry about it for the most part. Good question.
Next question, where does the catalog come from? Is it an XML CSV feed? Monal, do you want to start with that one?
Absolutely. So what Unbox tries to do is we assume that the B2B retailer has some sort of a catalog in some format. Doesn't matter what format it is, XML, CSV, JSON, Excel, doesn't matter. Or even if it is in a database. And if there's a standard export that they can do and get it through an SFTP or any other mechanism, they already have it on some SFTP, we can pick it up. It doesn't matter where the catalog comes from that perspective or what format. So the catalog can come from their internal database, exported into any format, or if they can expose a third party, doesn't matter. We can accept any kind of catalog in any format.
Okay, next question for you, Monal. Where is Unbox positioned for search with mobile phones? And can you speak to the text options on mobile phones?
Got it. So from a search on mobile phones, the way our solution works is twofold. Let's say your existing site is mobile responsive, so tablet responsive, mobile responsive. Our search solution will integrate with that same responsiveness included with our solution. If your website experience is mobile dedicated, so you have a dedicated M.dot mobile site, then our solution can also be attributed to a dedicated M.dot mobile site. And from a speak-to-text option on mobile phones, we currently use the device's native speak-to-text conversion. And essentially, once that speak-to-text is converted into text, you pick it up as a normal query and are able to show the results. However, one feature from a mobile perspective that's important to note here is that customers make a tremendous amount of spelling mistakes using a mobile phone. And because of our algorithm, we are automatically able to solve almost 85 to 90% of spelling mistakes that customers make out of the box without you having to create any manual synonyms on the back end. And that makes for a tremendously better experience compared to what you natively might be using today.
Okay, next question has to do with personalization. Does this technology offer a way to customize the page display or the products shown and recommended based on the profile of the customer who's logged in or their prior purchases?
Absolutely. So in a lot of instances, for B2B customers especially, a lot of the buyers are repeat buyers. And especially if they're logged in, you want to give them not only in some instances what their prior purchases are, but also special pricing that might be unique and different compared to pricing that everybody else gets. So you can have a control over segmenting inventory, pricing, and what products you show for those customers and how are they boosted or buried depending on their previous purchases specific to a customer. You can also, for certain customers, say for example, for some corporations, different divisions might be in different geographies. And you can isolate what inventory, pricing, and products different geographies would see compared for the same company for different individuals in different geographies. The first half of that question was to customize the page display or the product shown. So the templating of the page could be exactly what you guys have today for a listing page, or if there's any enhancement that you might want to do depending on whether a customer is logged in or not, because you might want to show an additional discount that they get because they're logged in versus when you're not logged in, you don't show that discount. That is absolutely possible.
Okay, next question. what is the amount of data available? Do you store all searches ad infinitum, or is it the last X days, weeks, or months that you store?
Got
Mobile,
it.
So you want to start? Maybe Harley would jump in.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the amount of data from that perspective, we store the data which is available in its most granular form for up to 6 months. We do have the data available for up to 2 years rolled up into summarized data.
And I think the summarized data and going back, we have a core group of products, but we do keep adding catalogs to our store. And we have about 280,000 products right now. And some of those come and some of those go. If they don't sell, we move them out and take them off. So the 6 months has not been an issue for us to go back and look at that. And we haven't really needed to go back any further.
Okay, next question for you, Monal. Do you model results against the parent or the child, that is the product versus the SKU?
Got it. So this is a really good question. Somebody is very technical on this webinar. So when for some retailers, when a search happens, a lot of times they might want to show the parent products, and then the SKUs or the child products are available only on the product detail page. However, for some retailers, they want to show the different child products in the result set itself. And then there's a modifier to that where the parent product is shown with some child product identifiers in the product block. All three combinations are possible. So we can group child products into parent and only show the parent in the search results. Or as a global configuration, you can show either parent and the child will be in the PDP, or you can show the child products. But the search could be on any one of them. You can search for the parent or the child. The display is then separate from the search. Hopefully that answers that question.
Okay, we're getting close to the top of the hour, so we'll make this the last question. I think it's a good one to wrap up the webinar. This is for Monal. I understand Unbox worked for ibSupply, but how can I be sure it'll work for my site as well?
That's a good good evaluation question. So I think one of the key, and Harley will obviously share on a little bit on this, one of the things when we're presenting to Harley and team, we were obviously very confident in our ability to help, but there's always doubts that retailers would have whether any company can help them or not, and how would you know for sure? So we always give all our retailers this option, and we did this for Harley as well. We will come in,
well, they don't
integrate.
They don't call me a doubting Thomas for nothing.
So for Harley and team, for ibSupply, what we did was when we presented and Harley and team decided to go forward with us, what we offered them was we will come in and integrate our solution, help them integrate our solution, taking most of the onus from our side, so they don't have to spend so much time and money to integrate our product. So that's low overhead to even integrate us. Second, you can try our product for 90 days. And we also brought in a guarantee that within those first 90 days, we will guarantee a 10% improvement in performance. Depending on what your KPI is, how you measure, we will guarantee a 10% improvement in that performance within those first 90 days. If for any reason you're not happy with our performance, with our service, even if you deliver 10% and you're still not happy with us, the sun is not shining in your city that day, you have the right to cancel the agreement.
And that's what you said, Monal. Any reason you're not happy, any reason, we walk.
Yep. No fine.
And we're still together. Still together.
Thank you, Harley. Thank you. Really appreciate that.
Okay. Well, thank you, Harley Thomas from ibSupply and Monal Patel from Unbox. Thank you all for attending and for your questions. We would request that you stick around for just a very, very short survey to help us improve these webinars. Again, you will be getting an email with the instructions how you get the slides and the link to the presentation. So thanks for attending, and have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.